I forgot to feed my totem, and you wouldn't believe what happened to it. I've been feeding it consistently for 8 days, and then I missed an opportunity. I thought I was starting to understand this totem, but now I haven't a clue how mine is reacting.
I'm YK2012, founder of the Upland Guide. I'm here to unlock the secrets of the Upland Metaverse. On this channel, you can find everything you need to build your Upland empire. Expert tutorials, winning strategies, pro tips and tricks, and a lot more. Hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell to stay ahead of the game. Remember, knowledge is power, and in the Upland Metaverse, that knowledge is truly your most valuable asset.
For those of you who've been following me, you know that I enjoy data and numbers in creating charts and graphs. And I've been trying to think of the best way to graphically represent how I'm managing my totem. And I think I've come up with something that I'm ready to start sharing with you. So my totem is a fantasy blue cheetah. And the blue represents the frequency in which you have to be feeding your totem. I'm assuming that the optimal frequency to feed my totem is every 42 hours. 42 hours is exactly 1.72 days. You can see here that the scale increases by 1.75. Here it's actually rounded to one decimal spot, so that's why you see 1.8 here. So that 1.75 days is going to be my feeding interval. And we know that the best time to be feeding your totem is exactly in the middle of that interval. So I've actually added a minor grid line into my chart, and I've actually made it darker to see, so that I know that this is the optimal time that I actually want to be feeding my totem. So you can see here that for the first 8 days or so, I'm managing to spend very close to exactly the target of where I want to be spending my totem. Now, the amount that I've been spending is a little bit different. I've been experimenting, trying to understand the output graph according to it, but if I'm just looking at the timing, I've been pretty good at spending it exactly when I wanted to in the middle of that interval, all the way up until I got to about day number 8. After that totem spend, you can see here that I missed my target, and in fact I missed an entire interval from this light gray line until this light gray line. Now when I realized that I missed my interval, I went and I made this spend of 65 protem, and in fact I did get a message saying that I should have spent it more frequently. So that's how I know I actually did end up missing this interval. Now with regards to the protem collection, you can see here at the beginning it's a little bit uneven simply because there was a shortened amount of time between activation of the totem and my first spend. So that's why there's this discrepancy here, this little jump up to 33. But since then, it's been stable at returning 24.7 protem each time. Now here I wanted to do a little bit of an experiment of actually decreasing the amount that I was spending to see what would happen here. And I was planning on doing that same thing for the next interval, but I missed that one. So we can see here that the amount of protem actually decreased, but still I'm very stable in the returns that I'm receiving. Now this leads me to assume that the cheetah totem's output return is either going to be a small step up or a large step up. So at the very beginning it's going to be a constant return, which is what I'm starting to see. And after some time, which we don't know yet, but I'm expecting it to take a large jump up to a different level. Hopefully a large one and not a smaller one. Now there are penalties for missing spend intervals. My totem has a hexagonal base, and I'm assuming that that corresponds to the penalty of a yield reduction for every interval that is missed. So with this, it is completely possible to end up with a 100% penalty, meaning that you stop earning protem. But I just missed one, so I'm expecting to see less yield, but again, I don't know how much. Now, if this wasn't confusing enough, I want to bring attention to this next graph here, where again, the x-axis is still the exact same thing, but here we can see in red my spend score. Now, obviously, when I activated my totem, my spend score is going to be 100%, but after that, you can see that it started to decrease, and even when I skipped my interval by mistake, you can see here that my spend score practically did not change. And even now it's starting to increase a little bit. I've even seen other people with spend scores that are over 100. So I'm really not sure what to make of any of this. I'm still extremely confused in terms of trying to understand my totem. My totem has quite a long interval, so I have fewer data points compared to some other people whose interval is a lot smaller and will have to feed it more frequently. This graph is now going to help me out moving forward, and hopefully this can help me get back on track to feeding it exactly when I need to. If anyone has a cheetah totem and they've seen some returns that are not constant, please let me know. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and continue following everything you need to know about Upland with the Upland Guide.